Okay, here we go. Ken Krager here from Black Swan Financial Advisors. I'm going to be doing a set of videos and I'm creating a guide to government benefits. This is going to be especially important for people, families who have special needs, children with special needs, and for financial planning around that. But there's going to be some very useful information for everybody. Everybody that turns 65 just about will end up using Medicare as their health care, their health insurance, and their health provider to pay for that cost. Many people will use Medicaid. Almost everybody with any kind of work history will get some kind of Social Security benefits. And then again, for those with families with special needs, a new relatively recent benefit is Achieving a Better Life Experience Act and created what's called the ABLE account. And then, of course, we need to talk about taxes and how taxes are going to impact everything. So I'm going to try to do some short videos for each of these sections. There actually might be several videos for each section. For example, the Social Security section, I'll talk a little bit about work benefits to your work history, filing strategies. How old should you be when you file? Should you file when you're 62? Should you wait till full retirement age, which for most of us these days is going to be 67? And if the government has its way, it might be 70 or even later. And then so full retirement age and how that might impact decisions. Spousal benefits, which are actually SSDI, and which is kind of a disability benefit or a survivor type benefit. If somebody dies and they have a work history and they're eligible for Social Security benefits, then their spouse and their children can get a benefit, survivor benefit. And then what some people might not understand is that if you have an adult disabled child and they meet certain criteria, then they can also get an SSDI, Social Security Disability benefit, based on the parent's Social Security benefit. And for those of you that don't know, it was hard for me to get a straight answer. I think when I first started looking into this, I asked a half a dozen different financial advisors and they couldn't give me a right answer. And actually I talked to two different people at the Social Security Administration, and one of them gave me the right answer and one of them gave me the wrong answer. But your disabled adult child can get up to 50% of the parent's benefit as though they retired at full retirement age, no matter when they retired. So for example, I might decide to retire at 62 instead of 67. My disabled adult child, Addie, could then get half of my benefit as though I had retired at 67. So say for example, my 67 age benefit would be $4,000. Addie can get $2,000. But I might only get $3,000 because I retired at 62 or 63 or whatever. So, that's just simple math. And when we sit down and look at your own personal situation and your family situation, you want to look at these strategies around, when should you file? Because, there's a lot of money to be had there. And it's benefits that you earned, you paid taxes. So, those are really important benefits. Then we'll get into Medicare. We offer Medicare as well. You can work with us to find the best health plans and, minimize your deductibles or try to minimize your premiums or minimize your max out of pocket or whatever. But we can help you figure out the best strategy, best programs for Medicare. And almost everybody in the country that turns 65 is going to use Medicare. And there's some rules there. When you first turn 65, you have 3 months before and 3 months after you turn 65 to enroll. And it's kind of interesting. They penalize you if you don't enroll when you're supposed to. So it's important for you to understand what the rules are. And if you're still working when you're 65 and you have a group health care plan, then that's okay. When you no longer have that group health care plan, you are eligible and you have a window of opportunity to get into Medicare. And again, you can get penalized if you don't do it. Medicaid is a needs-based system. It has to do with whether or not, how much income, how many assets you have, and so forth. Basically, you've got to be living in poverty to be able to qualify for Medicaid. But for many of our families, our children, our family members who have special needs, they qualify for Medicaid. And Medicaid is actually, in many ways, a better healthcare system and plan than Medicare is. And but you can't own any assets or very little assets. You can't have income and have Medicaid. So we'll talk about that. And then again, like I said, this Achieving a Better Life experience, 2014, I think, is when it passed. And each state administers this program. And there's limits. There's gotchas, you might say, like if you have money left over when your loved one dies and they owned an ABLE account, they had $100,000 in there, maybe you just gave that $100,000 to the government to pay back all those benefits that your loved one used or whatever. And then, of course, taxes are always a big question. Most of you might not realize that when you start collecting your Social Security benefits for those many, many years of hard work, that you are very likely going to be privileged to pay some of it back to the government in taxes. So right now, depending on your income levels when you're in retirement, up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can be taxed. And one of the things our favorite congressional friends are trying to do right now is actually make it so 100% of your Social Security can be taxed. And again, all of these programs too are subject to what's called legislative risk, or the risk of Congress deciding that they're going to change the rules on you and raise your taxes, tax more of your stuff, whatever. So anyway, stay tuned. This was an introduction. I forgot to give my disclaimer. I need to give my disclaimer. Every single thing on this website, in this video, in this presentation, and in the guide is for educational purposes only. In no way is anything to be considered investment advice. I'm here to educate you. We're here to help you. And we're here to help you and your family have a financial secure future. So tune in. I'm looking forward to this discussion. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.